Qué rollo, quiero mandar un saludo a mi amigo Goodfella de parte de tu amigo Jaime Munguía. Un abrazo, carnal. Ánimo.
All right, man. Andy Ruiz defeats Luis Ortiz unanimous decision. I believe he might have dropped Ortiz like 4 times. I think two in the second round, maybe three. Um, but let's talk about it. Check out the heavyweight boxing talk playlist and the fight reaction playlist for more videos like this. And there's no question in my mind that Ruiz won. And it seemed like he took a page out of Charles Martin book, where he was hitting Ortiz on the top of the head, and on the side of the head on the equilibrium shot, and Ortiz, got a bad habit of not bringing that backhand back home. He got a bad habit of dipping down. Um, you could say he was old tonight. I mean, we knew that going into there, but Andy Ruiz is on a nice lengthy layoff. All right. But ultimately, Ruiz looked solid, had Ortiz pressed a little bit earlier, then he probably would have either got knocked out or he would have won. It's as simple as that. It's either as simple as that, man. And Andy Ruiz, it wasn't just Ruiz power. First and foremost, it was Ruiz. It was 3 knockdowns. So it was Ruiz's counterpunching ability that did the trick. He had, every time Ortiz would open up, he could clip with that right hand. It was the timing. He was catching Ortiz dipping and dropping his backhand. He was punching with authority. It was just the counter punching. And you want to say, well, Ortiz should have went to the gut and all that. What you got to understand too is when you go to the body, you leave yourself susceptible to counter punches. Okay, and when you think about Ortiz was supposed to be the counterpuncher, and Andy Ruiz, by countering and dropping him 2 times early on, Ortiz had to become the stalker. One thing about it, if you watch this fight, Ortiz, right? Ortiz don't know how to cut off the ring. All right, Ortiz do not know how to cut off the ring, and I told y'all that, and that was an issue. And obviously, it didn't show up. It wasn't as critical as I thought it was gonna be. Right? But it showed up in a big way. And when it showed up, it allowed Ruiz to buy time to run the clock out. Right? Ruiz Ortiz never stepped over to cut the ring off because of the counter punching. Andy Ruiz, El Capitano was in his corner. They thing was the counter punching. And when they did exchange, people said I expected more exchanges. Andy Ruiz's hands was too fast. Andy Ruiz was throwing a short, straight, crisp spots, and Luis Ortiz was trying to loop around the shots, and that's one of the reasons he was getting hurt and he got dropped. He knew he couldn't exchange with Ortiz. It wasn't that with Ruiz. It wasn't that Ruiz's hands were just fast. That was a huge thing to do with it. But in addition to all of that, his punches got home faster. His punches was short and crisp. While he was going straight down the middle, right in Ortiz's face. Ortiz was going around the guard, trying to loop around, and that wasn't a smart thing to do. Honestly, that's not what you want your fighter to do. And Andrew Ruiz, Ortiz tried to press him, right? So I think Wilder about to get in the ring. Yeah, Ruiz tried to press him. And Ortiz tried to press him, but he found out he couldn't press him. Because when he started to walk in there, damn, Ruiz eyes swole as hell. He was getting clipped. And once you're able to counterpunch the counterpuncher and make him the aggressor, I mean, pretty much it's a wrap. What he did in the 12th round, he could have did, when he recovered. But he chose not to do so. That's what I will say. He chose not to do so because he was scared of getting knocked out. And y'all talk about Wilder legs. Y'all better look at Andy Ruiz legs. I mean, Luis Ortiz legs. They stubby too. So when I look at everything, the knockdowns, it changed everything. But what really changed everything was Ruiz beat the counterpuncher. Now you're making the counterpuncher go out of his comfort zone, which I told y'all in the prediction, he can't cut the ring off. So now you make the counterpuncher the stalker, and all Ruiz had to do is just do enough to offset Ortiz or Luis Ortiz, and he did. He slid, he moved, and Ortiz was coming back winning some rounds, but it was more about Andy Ruiz, kind of like, I'm already up, I'm in my hometown. I don't really need to take no chances. And obviously, a lot of people was complaining about it wasn't as action packed as it was supposed to be. But a lot of that had to do with Andy Ruiz turned into the counterpuncher. That's exactly what it had to do with it. Andy Ruiz turned into the counterpuncher. All right, it turned into the counterpuncher. So if you got the offensive fighter Andy Ruiz counterpunching, you got the counterpuncher still trying to counterpunch and trying to go out of his comfort zone and press, what do you expect to happen? A tactical fight. No. And Andy Ruiz was tired in there. He was tired. And Luis Ortiz is old. Simple as that. And you said what Ortiz could have did, nothing else. He could have pressed earlier, but he probably would have got knocked out. That was what it was. They seen what Charles Martin did, and they tried to build on, even though Martin's a southpaw. But it's nothing else he really could have done. He could have used the jab more and went to Ruiz's body. But when you getting clipped at will by a right hand, leading, countering, finishing combinations with it, or starting combinations with it, when you getting hit with that punch, it changes everything. So it wasn't too much more he can do. Ruiz was just the better fighter tonight, and that's just what it was. When he countered him in the second round and kept robbing him, it was over with. It was over with. You can't expect when somebody take your plan their way and counterpunch, and then he was beating them in the exchanges. So what else? And if Ruiz had to start, or Ruiz was pushing Ortiz back too. He was pushing him back too. So the feints, the hand speed was working, the footwork was working. And for Ortiz, that's what y'all gotta understand. Y'all just can't say, oh man, we gonna tear his ass up to the body. Once you go to the body versus somebody that can counterpunch, it's like it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Once you go to body, they're gonna clip you. So that's pretty much it. Andrew Ruiz, takes the cake, wins, and we can talk about some more stuff in the morning where Ortiz go. Ruiz Wilder. However y'all want to go with it, but hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop a video. Financial and support the channel. Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link description. Hit the link tree. Find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, a whole bunch. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal is in the link tree as well too. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.